Tintagel Castle is a medieval fortification located on the peninsula of Tintagel Island on the north coast of Cornwall, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. In the Cornish language, it is called Dintagel, meaning fort of the constriction. The site was possibly occupied in the Romano-British period, as an array of artefacts dating from this period have been found on the peninsula, but as yet no Roman era structure have been proven to exist there. It would appear that Tintagel was an important trading post from the late Roman times until it was abandoned at the end of the 7th century. Excavations at Tintagel in the 1930s unearthed a wealth of pottery of Mediterranean origin, which contained wine, oil, or simply used for show. The presence of so much of this pottery, known as Tintagel pottery, as it is the largest concentration of such pottery in Britain, and indicates the prosperity of Tintagel in the 5th and 6th centuries, the time of Arthur. It is assumed that Cornish tin was used for bartering for goods. It subsequently saw settlement during the early medieval period, when it was probably one of the seasonal residences of the regional king. In the 13th century, during the later medieval period, after Cornwall had been subsumed into the Kingdom of England, a castle was built on the site by Richard, Earl of Cornwall, which later fell into disrepair and ruin. Archaeological investigation into the site began in the 19th century as it became a tourist attraction, with visitors coming to see the ruins of Richard's castle. In the 1930s, excavations revealed significant traces of much earlier high-status settlement, which had trading links with the Mediterranean during the late Roman period. The castle has a long association with Arthurian legends. This began in the 12th century when Geoffrey of Monmouth, in his mystical account of British history, where he described Tintagel as the place of Arthur's conception and birth. A castle was built on the site by Earl Richard in 1233 because it was seen as a traditional place for the Cornish kings. The castle was built in a more old-fashioned style for the time to make it appear more ancient. Richard hoped in this way he could gain the Cornish people's trust, since they were suspicious of outsiders. The castle itself held no real strategic value. After Richard, the following Earl of Cornwall were not interested in the castle, and it was left to the county sheriff. Parts of the accommodation were used as a prison, and the land was left to pasture. In the summer of 1983, a series of bushfires swept across Tintagel Island, uncovering buildings which were rectangular, not circular. The ruins showed the site had been occupied ranging from Roman times in the 3rd century to the eventual fall of the castle to the Anglo-Saxon invasion.